Greetings. This is the Ancient One, Bob Cunningham, golf instructor, coach. A friend of mine, Rick Pruitt, encouraged me to do a video on my evolution in golf. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm really keen on playing, studying golf, teaching golf, and it goes way back. I did a video on my story, just really my background. I was born in, just to recap briefly, in 1935 in the Depression, lived in a one-room house in a small rural town, 52 people. Went to school in a 12 grades in one building. Graduated 18 people, including my best friend and sweetheart, and we've been sweethearts since age 16, married 63 years. So this is a big part of my life, but golf is very key. I was a high school athlete with basketball and baseball. We didn't have big enough school for football, but I like football, but any other sports. But I played basketball till I was into my 50s, till the wheels kind of left me. And I've been a runner, and I ran till every day about 3 miles till I was in my early 60s. Now golf is my exercise and passion. So where did it all start? Well, I was home on leave, and I was about 23 years old. 2 weeks leave from the Army with my wife, and I was bored. We were staying at my in-laws, Western Pennsylvania, where I was raised. And there were golf clubs in the corner. And I asked Rachel, whose club? She said, well, that's his Birch's. He's a paratrooper. I knew that. He was training, and they were unused. I said, you think he'd mind if I used it? He said, no, go ahead. It was a new course just being had been built, 9 holes, about 5 miles away. Golf was not in my vocabulary growing up. Rich man's sport. There was a private country club about 13 miles away, but so I thought, well, what the heck? I'll go up and see. So I went out and I played. Actually, I played around twice, as I recall. And I shot very high numbers, but I had enough good shots that I was hooked. You know, golf is that way. It's very seductive. It'll give you just enough to whet your appetite. So I used my baseball swing, and I couldn't hit a driver. It would go off the planet, but 3-iron would go pretty good. And I played every day for almost 2 weeks. Well, then when I got out of the Army, by that time I had 2 infant children. I didn't really have the time or the money, but it lodged in my brain. And then I went to work for Sterling Linder Davis in Cleveland, Ohio, retail floor. And I had 2 days off, and there's a metropolitan course, Cuyahoga Valley. So I'd go down there, and I remember you put your ball in the chute. You'd have to get there real early. It was before daylight. These shadowy figures are moving around, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes. And finally your turn to come up, and then you go out and play. It was kind of interesting. You'd be grouped with someone, and I always enjoyed that. And I got a set of clubs. They were Citation H&B, Hillrich and Bradsby. They built golf or baseball bats mainly, but they were known for a good golf club. And I got a set for my wife also. She's left-handed. And we took some lessons. And I started reading. I mean, Tommy Armour, the Silver Scotsman, I remember. His book was my Bible. And I got pretty decent. In fact, my wife got really decent. She belonged to a small country club, North Olmsted Country Club. I don't even know if it's in existence now, but she was the club champion one year. And so I got in a fair amount of golf, and I was definitely hooked. And I've done a lot of research in golf because it fascinated me. I never could conquer it. It was, so I applied, and I'm fascinated by the different techniques and fundamentals, mechanics, and so I incorporated a lot of those. And then, of course, I've had 10 different careers, but I always found time to play golf, except when the kids were little. I didn't play that much, but that was my recreation, my fun. And I owe my longevity to golf, really. I'm 85, and I'm still vital. I can do a lot of things. And I've got some knowledge up here. Accumulation. And golf stimulates my brain. It's just a wonderful challenge. And we need challenges. We need to activate, keep our brain. So I'm always working on something. Little nuggets, I call them. I feel like I'm a prospector, prospecting for riches. And I find these nuggets, and aha. And every time I go out, a little nugget appears. Aha, I have those aha moments. So it's a building block process. And I love to share. I used to love to compete. People say, well, why didn't you go on the tour? I mean, there's some real money there. Well, when I was coming up, Arnold Palmer, of course, was my idol. His first PGA win was in 1953, Canadian Open. He won $5,000. Well, people said, you know, that's a lot of money. It was a lot of money back then. You could buy a new car. But now, you know, $1.8 million is pretty much standard. You can buy a jet plane. So, but these are top 200, very small percentage of all the golfers in the world. And you have to admire, they are tremendous athletes. They have strength, flexibility, tremendous touch, and that's my other sport, ball and stick, is pool. So I'm a top level pool player. So I love pool, but there's a lot of variations, but it's inside, and it's on a 4.5 by 9 foot table. Generally, you have 6 pockets. Of course, golf has 18 pockets. A lot of people call it pasture pool. But outside, like today, gorgeous fall day. It's great. You're breathing good air. you're getting great exercise. Now I don't walk the courses, but my Fitbit tells me an 18-hole course riding a cart, I get an average of 1.3 miles. That's what I'm thinking about. Miles of, no, it's 2.3. So you're walking to the green, the fairway, looking for ball. Never my own, of course, but it accumulates, adds up. The camaraderie, friendship is it's unbelievable, and you can't buy that. And it's I just play once a week now on Wednesday, and we play best ball, and they're all guys over their 70. I'm the oldest, but forward tees, that helps. We shot 15 under the other day, so that was exciting. And depends on the short game, really. Chipping, pitching, putting. That's where you make your money. Well, we don't bet anymore. Used to a little bit, but anyway, what I've studied and been certified in many different methods. I think I always like to give credit to credit's due. I think of Jimmy Ballard, the connected swing. Great influence on me. David Lee, gravity golf. Of course, Jack Nicklaus, Golf My Way. Tiger, of course, he's in Earl Woods, Taming a Tiger. I had an extensive library, which I sold not too long ago. And I had videos, mainly DVDs, and I sold those also, but I got a lot of this stuff right up here. So I love to share, and that's why I do these videos. And it's not about money. I have 3 vehicles, they're all paid for. This house is paid for. So I'm comfortable. I'm not rich, and that was never my desire. I just wanted to comfortably take care of my family and myself. And I've traveled extensively with my wife Ann. We've been to 20 different countries abroad, mainly in Europe, and been to every state in the Union, Lower Continental 48, saving Hawaii and Alaska till our old age. So I still look forward to doing that. So, but golf is amazing. It's a retreat. It's therapeutic for mind and body. And back to my odyssey and learning. Recently, of course, I got certified for natural golf. I met Mo Norman 3 times. Amazing experience, and he's since passed, of course. But and I've done the route. I learned about channel lock golf. John Hensby, JH in Australia. So I've been a follower of him, and then Bill Phillips. He's a mentor in Tennessee, great teacher and understanding of golf. And then Jim Vanetas in Southern California. And then I found on YouTube, and this is amazing revelation. You can find out a lot of things. My wife's Ford Escape, taillight went out. I bought the taillight, $695, but I thought, well, maybe a couple screw Phillips head, I could take the lens off and screw that in. Shouldn't be a big job. I checked with the garage, it's gonna cost $40 shop time. Well, I'm frugal, and I pay it when it's necessary, but I thought I could do this. Well, I got on YouTube, and I found there's a little trick. You have the lens cover, you gotta it slides it. You got to bump it from the side, and then there are two rubber caps. You have to pry those off, and there's it's not a Phillips head. It's a deep socket. Luckily, I had the socket wrench. Took those out, and I screwed in and I put the bolts back in. Clipped the lens cover back on. 4 minutes, I had the job done. I was, of course, a hero to my wife, but it was a matter of satisfaction. And that's what, whenever you can be more efficient and do something and accomplish something, it's very satisfying. And that's the thing with my students. We start and explain it's a building block process. That's how we learn anything. We learn our telephone number in 3 clumps: 770-378-4310. You can see it up on the top of my van. So, Social Security, your Army identification number, you learn in these small clumps. And that's what computers are built on. They're patterns, algorithms. Our mind is a computer. And of course, I'm filming this on my iPhone. It's amazing. I was a computer programmer in the Army, knew nothing about computers, but it was about as big as my car, vacuum tube, radar sight. And hot in that van, but I learned how to do that, but that didn't help me understand or know computers, and I still don't to that degree. But I have a laptop, I have a desktop, I have a tablet, and I have my iPhone. I'm well equipped, and I'm into this electronic age, and I'm thankful that I can learn all these things. And what I have learned has been immeasurable, particularly with YouTube. And now I've found a mentor in Great Britain, in England, Brian Sparks. 69 years old, former tour player in Europe, and he was playing nicely and he injured his back. Well, he had to have a back fusion. Ooh, that's pretty drastic. Well, he attempted to go back, had another fusion. Well, his playing career was over, so the last 40 years he's been teaching golf. Well, he's had his own odyssey, evolution, and he's detailed it in this book. So, positive impact golf. 197 pages, just full of nuggets. And so I contacted Brian, and I arranged to get certified to teach his method. Because it's the easiest swing in golf. It's so ridiculously easy. I love it. And it's learning to turn with weight shift, and it's so simple. And I've always tried to make it very understandable, but this is pure gold. And all of my students that continue with me get a book, this book, because it's really my Bible now. And I have my own insights and takes, of course, but this gives a template, a blueprint that makes it so doggone easy. And whether you're a beginning golfer or a long-time golfer that's lost his or her way, you can get right back on page here with a simple move. And Brian, he taught a number of years in France. He speaks fluent French. And he came up with this dance. And I love the take. He calls it La Danse du Golf. That's French. Danse is D-A-N-S-E. La Danse du Golf, the dance of golf. And it's just breaks it down to its simplistic. And when you do this, you can do it the same over and over. It gives you that consistency that everybody looks for, and it's just brilliant. He's in the process of writing a second book, and I've talked on Zoom with Brian many times. I wish I could fly over there and be with him, but I am, in a sense, with the miracle of Zoom conferencing. And he has just expanded my brain tremendously. And I'm so thankful, indebted to Brian Sparks in England. And he has teachers now. He calls them coaches. And I like that. I call my lessons, really, I call them sessions. It's like fitness training. You build, you learn what to do, what not to do, and it's all right here. And you can look it up, Amazon, Positive Impact Golf, Brian Sparks. That's a book that is well worth. It's not that much in price, but it's immeasurable in value. So that's where I am now, enjoying teaching and playing more than ever, because I don't have to micromanage. I just have to just explain, give you a knowledge and awareness of how easy it can be with simple weight, with a turn and weight shift. So learn to turn, friends. And if you have any, if this intrigues you, and it should, it's the future of golf. We've gotten far too technical and mechanical. Then get a hold of me. That's my number on my truck. It's bcgolf21@gmail.com, and George's Golf Guru, my website.com. But let's communicate, and I build relationships, and they're ongoing. I have so many good friends. Students have become friends, and that's my life, and is to help and be there and continue to provide the nuggets that I've built up, and a lot of it with Brian. And so I'm going to sign off. Cheers. This is the Ancient One. Be healthy. Be safe.